Hey there. Ever feel like the world's on fast forward and you're stuck on double speed?
Yeah.
It's like everyone's got that mental overdrive while we're stuck hitting refresh.
Right.
Well, get ready to hit pause because today we're slowing things down, diving deep into the power of concentration.
Love it.
And to guide us on this journey into focus, we're cracking open a book that's over a century old, but trust me, it's anything but dusty.
Oh, I'm intrigued. A vintage approach to modern mayhem.
Right, we're talking Concentration, The
Mhm.
Road to Success, from way back in 1907.
Wow, 1907. Now that's going back a bit.
Right. Our guide is Henry Harrison Brown, and he was part of this whole new thought movement.
You saw it.
Yeah, think self-improvement through, well, sheer brain power.
So, like, our thoughts shaping reality kind of thing.
Exactly. He even called concentration soul culture, which I know sounds pretty intense, right?
Soul culture, huh? I kind of like it. Has a ring to it.
Right. But it makes more sense when you consider the context of his time. Soul culture back then wasn't, some mystical out there thing.
Right, right.
It was about this revolutionary idea that
Yeah.
you weren't just stuck with whatever hand life dealt you. Brown truly believed you could train your mind to achieve success.
And not just like financial success.
Exactly. It wasn't just about, I don't know, climbing the corporate ladder in a top hat or something.
Aha, I can picture that.
He was talking about success in every aspect of life.
Mm-hmm.
Your health, your relationships, your overall well-being.
Living a fulfilling life, the whole package.
Exactly. And he had this definition of success that really struck me, and I'm going to quote him here. He said, "The consciousness of ability to meet every occasion in life and convert it into health, happiness, and supply."
Wow, that's powerful.
Right. It's deep. And it really speaks to something I think we're all still grappling with today.
For sure, for sure.
That idea that true success isn't just, external achievements. It's about inner fulfillment.
Absolutely. It's that feeling of being equipped to handle whatever life throws at you.
Yes. And turning those experiences, even the tough ones, into something positive.
Totally. Okay, so where does concentration fit into all of this?
Well, that was the big aha moment for me.
Okay, I'm listening.
Brown firmly believed that concentration was the key to it all. But here's the thing that really blew my mind. He says we're all concentrating all the time.
Wait, really? Even when we're like binge watching our favorite show?
Yep. He says it's just not always conscious. Have you ever been so engrossed in a hobby that hours just vanish?
Oh, absolutely. Time just flies.
Or, on the flip side, gotten sucked into a worry spiral and can't seem to break free?
Ugh, don't even get me started. I'm a pro at that.
See, our minds are always focused on something. The real skill, and what Brown was getting at, is learning to consciously direct that focus.
So it's not about suddenly gaining this superpower of concentration. It's more like we already have it. We just need to learn how to like steer it.
Exactly. He uses this great example of children playing.
Oh, I love that analogy.
They get so absorbed in their games, it's like nothing else exists.
It's true. They're in their own little world.
Right. And they're not forcing that focus. It's natural.
It's effortless for them.
Totally. It's like when, I don't know, when my niece gets going with her building blocks. Forget it. She's in her own world.
Uh-huh. I get it.
And Brown's whole point is that we can tap back into that effortless concentration we had as kids.
We can.
He says we can. He calls that deep state of focus in the silence. It's about, tuning out distractions and connecting with that inner wisdom.
Okay, so not necessarily absolute quiet, but more like finding that off switch for the mental chatter.
It's about mental stillness, not sensory deprivation.
Gotcha. And this idea of finding inner quiet, it wasn't just some like quirky Brown thing, was it?
Right.
I mean, we've heard this throughout history. Inventors, artists, even spiritual leaders, they all use practices like meditation or contemplation to tap into their creativity and intuition.
It's true.
It's like Brown was onto something with this in the silence idea, way ahead of his time.
Totally. Like he was recognizing the power of mindfulness way back then.
Yeah.
Now, another point that really resonated with me was his distinction between, and he makes this really clear, between true desire and just like fleeting wishes.
Ooh, okay, explain that.
So he says true desires, those are these deep longings for growth and expression, the things you really, truly want.
They come from somewhere deeper.
Exactly.
Right.
While wishes are more like, ooh, wouldn't that be nice? But they fizzle out quickly.
They lack that real commitment behind them.
Yes, exactly. So it's like, instead of chasing after every shiny object that catches your eye, it's about focusing on what truly matters to you, the things you're willing to put in the effort for.
It's about aligning our focus with our deepest values and goals. That makes sense.
Right. And what's fascinating is that Brown believes When we do that, when we tap into those genuine desires, we actually access this subconscious wisdom that can guide us towards what's truly best for us.
Whoa, like we have this internal compass, but it's drowned out by all the noise of everyday life.
Yeah.
That's a really cool concept. I definitely want to unpack that a bit further, but first, I think we need to take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsors.
You got it. We'll be right back to explore that idea of the internal compass and more right after this.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.
And we're back, diving right back into the power of concentration with Henry Harrison Brown. Before the break, we were talking about this idea of an internal compass, and I have to say, that really stuck with me.
It's a powerful image, right?
Yeah, it's like deep down, we kind of already know what's best for us.
Exactly. Brown believed that we all have this inner wisdom, but it's often buried under, layers of societal conditioning or limiting beliefs.
Like our intuition is trying to tell us something, but we can't quite hear it over all the noise.
And that's where concentration comes in. He believed that by cultivating this deep focus, we could clear away some of that mental clutter and tap into that deeper knowing.
So it's like we're creating a space for that inner wisdom to come through.
Precisely. And that brings us to another concept that Brown talks about, which I think is so relevant to our modern lives. He calls it agree, don't antagonize.
Agree, don't antagonize. Okay, I'm curious.
It's such a simple phrase, but it's packed with wisdom. He's essentially saying that fighting against reality, against the things we can't control, is a recipe for suffering.
It's like trying to swim upstream against a raging current.
Exactly. You're just exhausting yourself, and you're not actually getting anywhere. He uses these great examples in the book.
Oh yeah, like what?
Well, he talks about, like, someone complaining about a noisy organ player or a newsboy yelling outside their window.
Okay, I've been there.
Right. His point is, these things are happening, whether you like them or not. You can get all worked up about it, or you can choose to focus your energy elsewhere.
It's about choosing your battles, right? Like, are you going to give your power away to things you can't control, or are you going to use that energy to create something positive?
Exactly. And this idea of agreeing doesn't mean you have to like the situation or that you're giving up.
It's more about acceptance.
Exactly. It's about acknowledging what is, so you can then focus on what you can influence. It's a very stoic approach, actually.
Oh, I see it. It reminds me of that quote from Marcus Aurelius, something like, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength."
Yes. It's about recognizing that our thoughts have immense power, and we get to choose what we focus on.
So if we're constantly concentrating on something, as Brown says we are, wouldn't it make sense to get really intentional about where we're directing that focus?
Absolutely. And that's where his more practical techniques come in. Now, he was a bit wary of relying too heavily on external aids, like relying on something outside yourself.
Right, because then it becomes a crutch.
Exactly. But he did offer some really helpful suggestions for beginners, especially for cultivating that initial focus, getting started.
Which makes total sense. It's like you need those training wheels when you're first learning to ride a bike, but eventually you want to be able to ride on your own.
So one of the things he suggests is finding a specific time and place for practice and creating a peaceful environment.
Oh, so like dimming the lights, finding a quiet corner, that kind of thing?
Exactly. It's about setting the stage for a successful concentration session.
It's like creating a ritual, a signal to your mind that it's time to focus.
Yes. And once you've created that space, he recommends using affirmations, both silently and spoken aloud, to kind of reprogram your subconscious mind.
Affirmations, those positive statements people repeat to themselves.
It's about consciously choosing the thoughts you want to cultivate. For example, if you're struggling with self-doubt, you might repeat affirmations like, "I am capable," or "I am worthy."
So it's like replacing those negative thought patterns with more empowering beliefs.
Precisely. And what's fascinating is that modern neuroscience actually supports this idea.
Really? Tell me more about that.
Well, they've found that when we repeatedly think a certain thought, we strengthen the neural pathways associated with that thought.
So it's like we're literally rewiring our brains.
By practicing affirmations, we're literally changing the physical structure of our brains to support greater confidence and self-belief.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like we have this power to reshape our own minds. That's a pretty amazing concept.
It really is. And it just goes to show that Brown's ideas, even though they were rooted in the early 20th century, have these fascinating parallels with modern science and psychology.
It's like he was tapping into something fundamental about human potential. something that transcends any specific time period.
Exactly. And that's what makes his work so enduring. It speaks to something deep within us, this desire to master our own minds and create a more fulfilling life.
And who doesn't want that? Now that's something to ponder.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. It would be a great source of help to maintain and develop this channel and the correlated website.
And we're back, ready to wrap up our deep dive into the power of concentration. You know, it's funny how we're always looking for that quick fix, the productivity hack that'll solve all our problems.
It's true, there's no shortage of those these days.
Right. But going back to Brown, it really struck me how his message, even though it's over a century old, still feels incredibly relevant.
It's timeless wisdom, really.
Totally. He reminds us that true success, the kind that brings lasting fulfillment, it starts with mastering our own minds.
It's about going deeper, not just faster.
Yes. And that's not always easy, especially in our world of, constant distractions.
Absolutely. It's like we're constantly bombarded with information and stimulation.
Right. So many things vying for our attention.
Exactly. And that's why Brown's emphasis on soul culture, that deep, focused attention, is so important.
It's like he's saying, forget multitasking, master one thing at a time.
Exactly. Reclaim your attention. It's your most valuable resource.
It really is. It's what allows us to truly learn and create and connect with others in a meaningful way.
Exactly. When our attention is constantly fragmented, we miss out on so much.
It's like we're never fully present for anything.
Exactly. And that's where this idea of soul culture becomes so important. It's about cultivating this quality of attention, this deep presence.
So it's almost like a form of self-care,
Yeah.
like carving out time for your mind to just be present.
Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be this big, overwhelming thing.
Right. You don't have to become a monk and meditate for hours on end.
Start small. Choose one area of your life where you want to improve your focus.
Like maybe it's work or a creative project you've been putting off, or even just being more present during conversations.
And don't be afraid to experiment with some of Brown's techniques.
Right. Find that quiet space, create a ritual, give those affirmations a try, even if they feel a little silly at first.
The key is to find what works for you and to be patient with yourself. Building concentration is a practice.
It's not a destination you're never really done.
Precisely. There will be days when your mind feels like a room full of monkeys. We've all been there.
Oh, tell me about it. Some days it feels more like a zoo in there.
Right. But the key is to just gently guide your attention back. Again and again and again.
It's like training a puppy. It takes time and patience and lots of positive reinforcement.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think it's important to remember that concentration, it's not just about willpower or forcing yourself to focus.
It's about aligning yourself with your deepest values and goals.
It's about connecting with that inner wisdom and using it to create a life that's truly fulfilling.
And who knows what amazing things we might accomplish, what creative sparks might ignite when we tap into that power.
The possibilities are endless.
They really are. Well, on that note, I think it's time for us to sign off. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the heart of focus.
It's been a pleasure.
And to our listeners, remember, your attention is your most valuable asset, so invest it wisely. Until next time, take care.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. It would be a great source of help to maintain and develop this channel and the correlated website. This book overview was presented to you by olbooksummary.com. Are you interested in more insights into personal development books or motivational and inspirational books? Please visit olbooksummary.com and you will find a library of the most helpful self-development and human character development books overviews. See you soon with the next books overview video.